I've just woken up. It's so weird. I'm not normally awake during the day because I work a night shift. But I've been rostered on this weekend, which I don't mind. Today's supposed to be a day off, but they've asked me to come in, so that's double pay. Tomorrow's Sunday. I've got a rostered shift on Sunday. That's double pay, and I don't mind. I don't mind all this overtime. I've had one day off this week. I'm working 56 hours next week, but I don't mind. There's a very good reason why. Because out here, got some things moved around, nothing sorted. I brought some of my fermenting fridges out here, kegs off the shelf. Now that's just shelf is sitting in the walkway. So nothing's really getting sorted out, and there's a reason why. There's a reason why nothing's getting sorted out, and there's a reason why I'm excited about working all the overtime. Oh God, it's so bright out here. It's this. Not that motorbike or that pushy, but that space there. That's my neighbour's shed. My new shed's going to go there. Spoke to the builders. Sent them off the site plan, sent them off the shed that I want to build. Hopefully I hear back from them this coming week. And we can turn that into a workshop. And this into a games room again. It's so quiet here at work today. I don't know why I was called in. It's supposed to be my day off, but I'm not going to say no to double dollars. That's fine. But I want to go over to International and have a quick look, because sometimes they have some cool stuff there which might be useful. Sometimes there's XPS foam there, but there's none there today, unfortunately. For the first time in the 2.5 years I've been working here at Qantas, I have an overtime shift today. It was supposed to be a day off, but I got a message earlier. Shed, oh, holy crap. Was totally... Where's that coming from? So the first time in 2.5 years since I've been working here at Qantas, I'm going home early. There's nothing going on. I'm on overtime today. Today's supposed to be a day off. I got a message earlier in the week saying we need you to come in and help out on a Saturday. And 1 to 9, 8-hour shift, double pay. Okay. I don't mind. But there's nothing going on here. There's something going on back at home, and I'd rather be there getting on with that than sitting around milking overtime when I've got something else I'd rather be doing. So I'm back from work and I need to get changed. And I'm doing a little bit of work. You can't see nothing. Doing a little bit of work on the set, just fixing up the windows, playing around with a few bits and pieces before we can get Caesar here back up and cutting some more prototypes. But as usual, I've put my little phone holdy selfie stick thing down somewhere, and it's disappeared. It will be very nice, yeah, to eventually get things cleaned up a little bit. So whilst we enjoy a little bit of laser ASMR, thought I'd have a bit of a chat
about this machine we're currently watching. This machine is called Caesar. All of our equipment at the warehouse was named after various gorillas. So the 3 Trotec Speedy 400 flexes that we used to use and is what's operating here now were called Aldo, Kong and Caesar. Caesar we inherited when I bought Laser Touch, which was a foam storage carry case business. And Craig, he wanted to go back to doing, what he was doing before. He was a podiatrist and was a wonderful machine. He did all the foam cutting at Knights of Dice until it caught on fire. And it was quite badly damaged. It was actually written off by Trotec. I managed to keep hold of the laser from the insurance company, and over the course of sort of weekends and evenings, over a sort of 6 months or so, I rebuilt the machine, took it completely apart, cleaned it, and fixed, what I could fix. Then Trotec came back and fixed what they could fix, and it performed quite well for another 2 or 3 years. And then it got to the point where its laser source was pretty much dead. This machine will never be the same as it used to be without significantly overhauling, all of its optics. The laser source now in these Trotec Speedy 400s, they cost about 18,000 Australian dollars. And so Caesar at the moment is not. It's not running as fast as he could. We're watching this in real time, and this is, from Trotec standard, much slower than it can run. But it's cutting. The other 2 machines, Aldo and Kong, both of them, all of these machines are the same age. They're all 2015 Gen 3 Trotec Speedy 400s. I bought Aldo and Kong brand new. They were sort of $92,000 each or so, with all the bells and whistles, fire mitigation, hazardous protection kits which protect all of the running gear and all of that sort of stuff. And they've both had their laser sources replaced relatively frequently. Aldo about 2 years before I closed up the shop. And then Kong, about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I put an $18,000 laser source in it before, shutting up shop. I really did try to keep things going as long as I could, both from a commitment perspective, from a passion perspective, but it just wasn't viable emotionally. So now I'm at the point where I've got 3 machines here in my garage at home that are very capable lasers, but they're very expensive lasers. Now, I do need to sell, I was going to say both of the lasers, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Is this really ASMR? Not really, not with me rabbiting on, right? Anyway, so I'm thinking I want to keep one of those machines because Caesar will eventually die. And it doesn't make sense to put an $18,000 laser source, not that I have $18,000, or would ever consider that, from a hobby perspective. But this machine will eventually die. And essentially become useless. Even from a spare parts perspective, it would still be useless. So I'm thinking I might keep Kong, brand new laser source. Before I closed up, or after I closed up, I completely stripped both of these machines, Aldo and Kong, cleaned every single surface, every single panel, including the dust extraction system at the back, which was caked, never been cleaned before. you know, you've got to take a whole bunch of stuff apart, was caked in about an inch. I think I've got some videos somewhere. Maybe we'll have a look at that at some stage. Anyway, I'm thinking I might keep Kong. Caesar will eventually go to the tip. And then Aldo, again, it's in good condition for a 10-year-old machine. He's done some work. They've all done work. You know, I ran a business commercially with these machines. But the laser source is relatively new at 2 years old. All the running gear is good. The optics are fine. So I do need to sell that machine. It's just finding a buyer for a, you know, I'd like to sell it for 30,000 Australian dollars, which I think is a fair price. It includes the computer, the software, and extractor. You know, all someone would need to do is add compressed air, and they've got a phenomenal laser cutter engraver. But finding someone who's going to pay 30 grand is the issue. Anyway, looks like this is done.
I don't think this is cut properly, and we'll get back to that in a minute. Or I may have just talked about that while the machine's cutting. Maybe I'll do that. We'll add that when I'm editing the video. But this bit here doesn't look like it's cut properly. I really need to make some space to actually, like a workbench that's clear. Because whilst this machine is old and not in its prime anymore, unlike the other two machines, which are phenomenal, I don't really want to be getting glue all over it all the time. Oh, hang on. I've got a workbench. The way that I have designed this, it's possible to install this upside down because the base doesn't actually tab into the building walls. It sort of sits inside it. So you can accidentally glue the walls on this way. It doesn't take much to figure it out. Right. The rest of these bits and pieces, it does look much better with the line work and stuff on it. That's our little this stupid railing looks like someone's glued a ladder to the walkway, so I've changed this stupid railing, but I forgot to print it, cut it, so we'll do that too. But first I just want to check the building and make sure my changes to the window actually work. So I have forgotten to cut a few things. These little parts here are what hold the roof on. And when I designed this set, I wanted this piece here to be usable for a whole bunch of different stuff. So not only are these what make the roof here clip onto, they're also used underneath the walkways, and they're also used underneath the building to prop it up off of the ground, which is what we kind of need to have a little walkway in front of our building. I thought I needed 8, but I need more for the walkway.